my decluttering journey and, you know, time bound it, but I honestly didn't know how to approach it. So that's when I came across the 30-day minimal game or minimalist challenge. So I was looking at different methods of decluttering, and then that's when I finally came across the 30-day minimalist challenge or minimalist game. It was organized by The Minimalists, or created by The Minimalists. And honestly, I have to say, when I first saw this, it sounded great. And then on top of that, I came across a ton of videos, almost like this one that I'm about to create. And it was basically just all success stories about how people had decluttered their entire lives in 30 days. So basically this gave me a ton of confidence that I could actually achieve this. And let me back it up. For those of you who don't know, the 30-day minimalist challenge is basically, you have 30 days, and on day 1, you get rid of 1 item, day 2, you get rid of 2 items, so on and so forth for 30 days. On the last day, you're getting rid of 30 items, but cumulatively, you end up getting rid of like 400 something items. So basically, I feel like that's quite a lot, but it's spread out so you don't maybe notice it as much. So one thing I was afraid of was that I would start to lose motivation as the challenge went on. I mean, it started out easy enough, but I could really see myself by, you know, day 30 with the challenges getting exponentially harder. Basically, I was afraid of tapping out. If there's one thing I know about myself, it's that I kind of lose motivation quickly. So I figured it would be a miracle if I stuck with anything for 30 days. So because of that, I decided to do this challenge backwards. So instead of getting rid of 1 item on day 1, I would get rid of 30 items on day 1, 29 items on day 2, 28 items on day 3, and so on and so forth. So this was a bold plan, but I figured it was my personal best shot at getting this challenge completed. I got 4 bins together. I categorized them as donate, sell, keep, and trash, unfortunately. I figured the bins would only be there for about a month, so obviously it was okay if they stayed in the middle of my floor just for 30 days. You can see where this is going, right? I could just walk by them and toss items in as appropriate. So I figured after the first few days, it would actually be smooth sailing for me, especially because I was starting with the hardest part first. I mean, the way I was approaching it, it would theoretically get easier as time went on. Well, day 1 hit, and I basically realized this was gonna be a lot harder than I thought. I pretty much was super glad that I had started out with 30 items because I was already finding that super challenging just at the beginning of this challenge. And so I basically trudged through, took way longer than I would like to admit to throw out those first 30 items. And yeah, basically it was an unexpected challenge for that first day, but I made it through and I moved on to day 2. So on day 2, I time boxed myself. You know, another 30 to 45 minutes was the max I was gonna spend to get rid of these 29 items. I'm not gonna lie, this was pretty agonizing, but I made it easier on myself in that I literally let anything count as an item. It could have been an old sticky note, old receipts, or things like that. So lots of low-hanging fruit just to get accomplished on the second day. Day 3 comes, and for whatever reason, I missed this day, and I felt pretty guilty about that, especially so quickly into the challenge. So basically, I started to feel overwhelmed because now I was like, oh, on day 4, I have to get rid of, you know, not only the 28 items from day 3 that I missed, but also the 27 items to stay on track. So this started to snowball for me. Okay, then day 4 came around, and I actually accomplished catching up, which I was amazed at. Because of that, I felt pretty good, and I figured I'll just work ahead. I'll just make it easier on myself throughout the week. So I worked ahead and I started to declutter some of day 5's items on day 4. Technically, maybe that was cheating, but I figured working ahead is never a bad thing, right? I mean, why not? Day 5 came, I got rid of obviously some of that day's items, but just the full, I guess, 26 items at that point because, I'd worked ahead anyway, so I just made sure to hit that number again without worrying about actually getting rid of 26 items on that specific day. Then day 6 came. At this point, I didn't get rid of anything. I was really starting to lose motivation and just kind of get distracted with how long this was taking me, and knowing that I still had literally so many items to get rid of that day was totally overwhelming. So needless to say, doing the challenge backwards didn't actually work for me because I only made it like not even a week and I kind of tapped out. So not only did I not make it through the challenge, but I also bailed like way quicker than I thought I would, which was super disappointing. Now, I really want to try the 30-day minimalist challenge as it was designed by the minimalists, which in retrospect, it was foolish that I thought I knew better than them because they're literally experts, but I just don't know if it's gonna work for my brain personally. One of the things that I got really overwhelmed with the 30-day minimalist challenge was working across categories. So by that I mean, I thought the fact that anything would go would be helpful for me because it would just make it easier to get rid of things in any category on any day. Basically, that was a recipe for disaster for me. Essentially what I did was I just walked around my house back and forth from room to room, looking for something to throw away in each room, which made it take way longer than I wanted it to. So yeah, without clear guardrails for me, so 30 items just in the bathroom or 30 items just in my office, it just got really overwhelming really quickly. I pretty much would go from my closet and look for an item to declutter, then I'd walk to my bathroom and see if there was anything I could declutter, and then I'd go into my office, and it became really chaotic and literally took twice as long to get anything accomplished. So basically, I definitely want to try this challenge again. I would probably start the way the minimalist suggested by just getting rid of one item a day for the challenge, or one item and then 2 items and then 3 items on day 3 to slowly build that motivation and, more importantly, build the habit of getting rid of things. But I would also probably structure it so instead of having any items anywhere in any category, I would try to force myself to work in categories on some specific set of days. In my next video, I'm gonna go into more detail about how I plan to incorporate this challenge, but into a specific structure that I think will work for me. I've been wrong in the past, but I guess if you're interested in seeing how it turns out, maybe consider subscribing. If you want to learn about what even motivated me to pursue this decluttering journey in the first place, check out the link in the description to my Finding Your Why video. And I would love to know if you've tried the Minimalist Challenge at all, the Minimalist Game, and honestly how it worked out.